Hey guys, coming to you today from the top of Via Veneto. What is the Via Veneto? What's it famous for? What can you see and do here? That is the subject of today's video. On today's video, I'm going to take you with me on a stroll down this beautiful tree-lined boulevard, and I'm going to show you some special things that you can see here and explain why it is such an important place in Rome. So let's get into it. Here you can see behind me the Porta Pinciana. This is part of the Aurelian walls. I've done a video for you guys about the Aurelian walls on the opposite side of town. This is the largest ruin we have from ancient Rome in Rome. Here you've got this memorial from World War I, which is dedicated to people who lived in this neighborhood who fought in World War I and who lost their lives. You will see monuments like this around Rome. We have quite a few of these memorials to World War I, in addition to other war memorials. And just through that gate is the beautiful Villa Borghese Park, where you can visit, of course, the Galleria Borghese and the park itself. Here at the top of Via Veneto, we have Harry's Bar, one of the most iconic places to eat and drink in Rome. And as you go across the street, we've got the beautiful Marriott Flora, one of Rome's premier luxury hotels. So that is one of the things that Via Veneto is really famous for. It's chock-a-block with luxury hotels. Guys, if you're enjoying this video, would you please go ahead and hit that like button below? Apparently it helps with the algorithm, and I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So why is the Via Veneto famous? The name Via Vittorio Veneto comes from the name of a town in the Veneto region, hence Veneto, and Vittorio was the name of the king, Victor Emmanuel. So it's named for a town and specifically for a World War I battle at that town. But I think what Via Veneto is most famous for, other than the fact that people think that it's a shopping street, today it's most famous for being the home of a huge concentration of Rome's luxury hotels, but it has another thing that it's famous for. So in the 60s, Federico Fellini, the great film director, made a lot of movies on this street. Sophia Loren, Marcello Mastroianni, all these very famous actors and actresses of the time, showing them in their cars and just beautiful people. And this was the personification of La Dolce Vita. What exactly is La Dolce Vita? It means the sweet life. It means enjoying life, just having a great time, and this street is the emblem of all of that. So you can see these beautiful cafes, outdoor cafes. I'm here in May and it's absolutely beautiful. There are flowers everywhere. So it is a lovely place to come and sit down, enjoy some aperitivo, enjoy watching the world go by. Via Veneto still is, for Romans, it is really what is La Dolce Vita. So the Donné Cafe is one of the famous see and be seen places to hang out on the Via Veneto, and arguably one of the most famous hotels on the Via Veneto is the Westin Excelsior. It is the epitome of luxury here in Rome. Guys, as you can see as I walk down this street, there are a few shops here. For some reason, many people think of this as sort of the place to go shopping in Rome. It's really not. There are shops here, so if you're staying in one of the hotels or if you're walking up here or down here on your way to or from the Borghese Park, you may want to stop in one of these shops. They're all sort of medium to high-end shops, but it's really not the most central place to go shopping in Rome. That would be mostly around the Spanish Steps, although we do have other shopping areas in Rome as well. If you want to know where the best shopping is in Rome, I've got a page all about that below. You can click there and check that out. Meanwhile, this street is known, as I said, for La Dolce Vita, so let's keep going. Here on the curve, you can see the beautiful Palazzo Regina Margherita, which was the palace of Queen Regina Margherita until it became the American Embassy in the 1940s, after World War II. So the Via Veneto is not the only place in this area that has luxury hotels. A lot of the cross streets also have stunning luxury hotels like the Eden and the W. but the Via Veneto neighborhood is famous for this. It's actually called officially the Ludovisi neighborhood. Now you may be wondering, is there any place to stay in this neighborhood that is not luxury? And yes, you will find some mid-range accommodations as well. You just have to look for them. So are there good places to eat in the area? Absolutely. There are plenty of Roman restaurants, seafood restaurants, sushi restaurants, and you are really close to the center of Rome. So walking here to Piazza Barberini, which is the bottom of this road, is just a few minutes. And from there, you can go to the Spanish Steps, the Trevi Fountain. There are lots of great places to eat and drink nearby. And here we have the famed Hard Rock Cafe, right on Via Veneto. So they have tables out here and of course inside. As you can see, Via Veneto is lined with all these beautiful eucalyptus trees. It is just so pleasant to walk down this street any time of year, but certainly in spring and summer when these trees are full of leaves and it just makes beautiful shade. It's also beautiful at Christmas time when it's all lit up, and I actually love it in the winter too. It's really beautiful any time of year. So how long does it take to walk up or down the Via Veneto? I'm walking down it. It probably takes a little longer to walk up it just because you're walking uphill, but it's not that steep. So if you're staying in one of the beautiful hotels at the top of Via Veneto and you want to walk down to the center towards Piazza Barberini, that is going to be about a 10-minute walk. If you are at Piazza Barberini and you want to walk up the street because you want to just visit it, or you want to head to the top so you can go through the Porta Pinciana and head into the Borghese Park, I would say give yourself about 15 minutes. Add 5 minutes or so onto these walks if you're a slow walker, or if you just kind of want to stroll and take some pictures. But again, it's an easy street to walk up or down. It's just this huge, wide boulevard, and it's just so welcoming. So just behind me is the Capuchin Church with the Capuchin Crypt. This is a very famous site to visit in Rome, particularly if you're interested in something unusual and a little bit macabre. I really recommend you check it out. The church itself is really beautiful to visit. In the comments below, I've linked to how you can book a tour here if you're interested. Well, we've nearly reached the bottom of Via Veneto, but there are actually a couple more things to see right here. So there's a metro stop and a bus stop right here. This is a very handy metro stop, Barberini, if you're coming from Termini Station or from the Vatican. This is on the Red Line. Now, right next to this metro station and right behind me is an amazing building by the architect Coppedè. Who is Coppedè? Well, he was an architect from the 20s. There is a whole neighborhood in Rome that is famous because of his really beautiful and unusual architecture. It's a little far from the center of Rome. It's in the Nomentana neighborhood. But this building is by him as well. Let's take a look. You guys, take a look at these beautiful architectural elements that are inspired by ancient Rome. They're made of travertine, but they are not from ancient Rome. At this point, we've reached the bottom of the Via Veneto, and there are just a couple more things that I want to show you. Two fountains by Gianlorenzo Bernini. Just behind me, you can see this beautiful bee fountain that was designed by Gianlorenzo Bernini. It's called the bee fountain because of the Barberini bees. That's from the family crest of the Barberini family, which you will see in many places in Rome, especially at the Vatican. So we are in Piazza Barberini, named for the Barberini Pope Urban VIII, who was a big fan of Gianlorenzo Bernini and who commissioned this fountain, along with the clamshell fountain that we just saw a minute ago. Now, while you cannot drink out of the Triton fountain that's in the middle of Piazza Barberini, you can drink out of this fountain. I have a whole video all about water and fountains in Rome, so you can check that out right here.